Okay. Oh, did I hear sound? Sorry, just getting stream up in just a second. Hey, what's up? Alrighty, so back to Swordtember. So I did do a few off stream. Them being, yeah, this one, Coral, for day, what was it? Day 24. This is when I did off stream. I did a lot of these off stream because some life stuff got in the way. What was it? Oh yeah, the next one was Spider, day 25, day 26 Wooden, day 27 Pattern, day 28 Asymmetrical, day 29 Crown, I think. Yeah, that one was Crown. And then the final one, day 30, is Skull. So, this is also going to be a bit of an announcement stream because this is going to be my final stream for a couple months. Because I got to work on some other stuff. I have a couple other projects I need to do instead of streaming weekly. And, well, I'm going to go out with a bang and try to make the dopest sword imaginable for this final one here. Still not quite sure what I'm going to go with, because I had a bunch of ideas sort of passing around in my head for a while. What was it? There was one idea that was like a giant skull, like dragon skull, and then like it has a giant, like the skull itself has a giant horn. Last stream in a while, yeah. Basically, I sort of spread myself too thin creatively. I'm supposed to be working on a video game that I've been or not video game, I should say. It's more like a project that I've been developing for a while. And I've basically been putting it off because I wanted to stream instead. And figured I should probably get to that. Me streaming is just me procrastinating. That's why this is gonna be the longest stream, probably. Just gonna procrastinate so hard that this just becomes my brand. This is gonna be like my first 24-hour stream. Not actually, that would be funny though. So apparently, like, all my relatives had plans except me. My little brother had to go to school, my mom had to go to work, my dad had to go to a meeting on the other side of the country. So I got the whole house to myself right now, so I figured I might as well stream the last one. So, hold on, I'm gonna quickly find an image I want to share with you the kind of vibe I want to go for. In Terraria Calamity mod, there's this really cool magic weapon dropped by Poltergeist, which looks like a skull, except flames are coming out of its eyes. What the heck? Someone like hardcore trolled the Calamity mod community and added a fake boss with fake weapons onto the wiki, and no one's fixed it yet. It's just still there. It's not even in the game. That's hilarious. The sprites look amazing too. There it is, Ghostly Visage. I'm gonna pop the image onto stream real quick just because I think it's really cool looking. Here it is. Man, the sprite is so much smaller up close than I thought it would be. It's really sick. I love the like black wax aesthetic of the skull itself. I think it looks really gnarly. I'm not gonna copy this exactly, of course, but this is gonna be the kind of vibe I'm going for. Yeah, the fake boss is even called Hypnos. It's got like an entire guide and trivia section as well, saying this was added to commemorate one of the developer's best friends or something like that. And then it's just not even in the game. They went through all this effort in making it look as realistic as possible. It's hilarious. And the funny part is it fooled me even after I knew it was fake. I went in game, checked the bestiary after updating it. It wasn't there, and I still did the tiny ritual to summon it. Like I was like a 10-year-old in 2015 learning how to summon Herobrine. You know, not 2015. I'm thinking like 2011. What am I thinking? Wait, no, 2013. Dude, it's so funny. That's the kind of mad laddery I aspire to achieve. Alrighty. I want to do a funky color for the skull, but I don't know what to do. I don't want to copy the, like, hot pink skull color scheme that they had and the blues and whatnot. You know, I might as well just sketch out a sword or two, just to see what my brain's thinking of. I'm gonna use the funny round line tool. This round line tool is like almost completely useless, but if you know how to use it, it's like very efficient for creating curved lines. I can anti-alias out that jaggy. Oh, I didn't see the bone sword thing. Make a bone sword with the skull emoji in the middle and the handle of the blade. I wasn't going to make it a skull emoji per se, but I was going to make the handle like a giant skull. So part of me was thinking like maybe it could be a dragon skull, or like a weird alien dragon skull with like a ginormous horn. So like right here they'd be like the mouth. And then it would just be like a handle. Nope, that's not a pair of balls, I swear. Skull emoji would be funnier. But if I'm going all out, I don't think I'm gonna make a funny skull emoji. I'm sorry, I keep drinking carbonated beverages and I'm just burping nonstop. Okay, so my other option was going to be like, hold on, like the Calamity mod thing at an angle, except there's like a blade coming out of the top like this. Or something like that. And then like, I don't know, maybe like some Frankenstein horns for like the guard or something. I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff I can do here. I just need to find out what I want to do. Could just make 2 swords. Something kind of like that, maybe. Imagine the hilt being wrapped in dragon hide and scales. That would be dope. That would be dope. You know, I like the previous idea. I feel like this one's a bit uninspired. Like, it's literally just skull on a stick with horns and blade. It is a cool idea, though. That is definitely a sword I would love to make later on. Maybe even after I finish this one, I can make the other sword. Alrighty. Just like the spikes. I guess so. It's just like, It feels a bit unoriginal to me. I feel like a billion other people did that already for their final entry. Alrighty, I'm gonna make this layers opacity. Wait, actually, copy this, delete this, merge layer down, new layer, copy paste, lower opacity. You know, I'm gonna lower the opacity even more. We're gonna sketch on, or we're gonna finish the drawing on top of this very, very loose sketch. What prompt is this? This is the final prompt. I believe it is skull. Yeah, it's skull. I finished the last couple off stream because I wasn't able to stream at the time. What the heck? I keep hearing my cat behind me and I turn around and there's no cat. Dude, my cats are gaslighting me right now. Alrighty, so I'm not sure what I want to do for the colors just yet. I know I don't want it to be a normal, like, white, ivory-colored bone skull. I want it to be a bit more unique than that. Yeah, the cats are trolling me for real. You know what, when in doubt, just make it blue. Blue never fails you. I'm gonna turn this bone pommel into not a pair of balls. Never mind, that looks even more like a pair of balls. I might as well embrace it and just give the sword a pair of balls. I don't want it to be at an exact angle, as I've said before. Funky angles are just more technically impressive. Blue balled. Bruh. Don't. Heard one of my cats go downstairs. Good grief. Living alone, or not living alone, but like just being home alone is kind of terrifying. Because, like, I just hear a cat in the background, and my mind immediately thinks I'm being robbed by a burglar who's, like, 12 foot tall and has a knife. Thanks, anxiety. Bro, I just, like... I don't know why, but I've got, like, horrible sleep last night. I've been, like, trying to fix my sleep schedule by, like, forcing myself to fall asleep at certain times, and it just don't work. Like clockwork, I just wake up at 10. Anxiety doesn't have your back, it just takes it. It just stabs it, for real. Anxiety is snake. Never trust anxiety. Reminds me of the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared episode where, like, someone's got a worm in their brain. And then, like, everyone starts singing about how they all have a worm in their brain, and if you listen to what it says, then you're clinically insane. It's such a funny show. I'm really happy it went down the absurdist humor route and not the, like, weird horror stuff. And we all have a worm in our brain. Alrighty. Give him a little nose hole. Now we can start building the structures above it. is Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, a horror show or something. It started as a horror adjacent web series, and then after like 5 years or so, they finally they finally released a television show that's like actually on like a paid service. You can find the originals on YouTube for free, and they're much more horror oriented, but they're also really funny. And the TV show hones in on the funny aspect and not really the horror aspect as much, which a lot of people are kind of put off by, but I think it's pretty good. Because, like, a show that takes itself too seriously is usually a bad show. You know, I'm gonna give him a little chin tuft. There could be like a little trigger here and you pull it and just closes the mouth. That's like Final Fantasy, where it's just like a gun built into a sword for like no reason. Good grief. The cat... I keep hearing cat sounds like right behind me. Bruh. There's gonna be a cat jump scares sometime during this stream. It's inevitable. There's gonna be at least one. I'm gonna turn around and see a cat there and actually crap my pants. Like 3 times in a second. Give him a little vertebrae. You know, I kind of like just having it diagonal and down. I don't want the whole handle to be vertebrae, because that would imply that it's just floppy, but there needs to be something that's connecting the skull to the handle. I think vertebrae is just the most optimal way to do that. Definitely going to add more colors later on. I'm just sort of sketching out the boundaries for now. Maybe jagged metal to balance it out. There's definitely going to be some other parts. I haven't drawn in the blade yet, and the blade's certainly going to balance it out a bit more. I think it should be darker towards the back, so I'm going to use this background color as shading, because why not? 1-bit experience tells me this is the way. I feel a psychedelic color palette would work for the prompt. Oh yeah. I was actually planning on making more psychedelic sort of stuff. I wanted it to be like sort of cosmic horror, but not quite horror per se, but like just weird cosmic stuff. So like this is how you would imagine like a dinosaur skeleton would look if you're on mushrooms or something like that. That's kind of what I was going for, just a bit. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna move the perspective up just a bit. I almost said a pinch. I'm working on my chronic addiction to saying pinch. So like the bones are going to be sort of metallically colored, so it's going to look more like purplish, bluish metal than like actual ivory or any of that. Just to like kind of go in with the cosmic horror vibes, because metal skeletons are pretty freaking metal, I'll tell you that much. Imagine walking in a zoo high and wondering why the cells are so big. Or all the cats are so big. Bro, imagine, like, being high and seeing a peacock at a zoo. Like, it lifts its tail at you, and suddenly you're witnessing Cthulhu being born in front of your eyes. That's gotta be something like, I can only imagine. Good grief. Have you seen those Benadryl hallucination simulations? Like, Benadryl is just insane. I don't get how people can just, like, use and abuse Benadryl like that and not develop PTSD. Because, like, you take one too many and you're witnessing the universe die. All you see are shadow peoples coming to reclaim your soul and whatnot. And your eyes like to... Like, they do that weird, like, what's the word? Pareidolia thing, where they see a bunch of faces and eyes where there aren't. I used to have that a lot as well, where I would just, like, wake up and see eyes everywhere. Wasn't on any drugs or any of that. Just kind of funny. Benadryl, can't have allergies if you're knocked out. Can't have allergies if you're tripping balls. Like, what are the allergies gonna do? Like, make you sneeze a little when you're watching, like, the god of death come for you? I can, like... I feel like... It's like fighting fire with fire, except the fire is a nuclear weapon. That reminds me. I want to make a stand-up routine, except like every punchline is just the word nuclear weapons. So like, if only there was a way to prevent all the pedophiles from touching kids. I know, nuclear weapons. And it's just that the entire time, and then like, at the very end of the set, I say something like, you know what, there's just too many people on Earth. You know what the solution to that is? And then they all say and then the crowd says nuclear weapons. And I say, what's wrong with you guys? Nuclear? I thought that was what I was saying. I might have slipped the tongue and said nuclear. Got him. Yeah, you debate him into... Wait, never mind. I just realized that's just a straight up copy of someone else's set I've seen someone do. The set was, instead of saying nuclear weapons, it's arm the children. And that's what I was thinking of. Never mind. I'm not original. And then at the very end of his set, I forgot who it was. He was a pretty funny guy, but I think he's like canceled now for being offensive or something. I don't know. But yeah, he would just like, the joke was he would just keep saying arm the children at the end of every like punchline. And then at the end of the show, he's like, guys, do you hear yourselves? You're yelling arm the children. Good stuff. Pretty lowbrow for comedy, but still funny. It's like that experiment where like people were given masks in a crowd at like a live prank show. And then like at the end of the show, they make it look like the people in the crowd basically got him killed. And then everyone was like, no, how could they do this? And at the end of the show, it was like, guys, you basically wanted this random dude to die. And you all did it because you voted anonymously because mask. And now people are using that as like an excuse to not wear masks. Funny stuff. It is hard to be original in this world. And that's something I want to make a video on in the future. It's just like original ideas in a world of only unoriginal ideas. Because if you think about it hard enough, pretty much every idea ever has been thought of before. For example, I have like thousands of pages of intricate lore. And then I realize like every once in a while, I'm like, oh, this is just that from some other insert sci-fi or fantasy novel here, or insert sci-fi or fantasy thing here. For example, Pandemnioth and the worms in Dune. Like carbon copy, except pandemnioth is maybe a bit more geometrical. It's kind of funny just how many ideas I thought I created, and then, like, I find out I'm just not original. Dude, that happened to me so much when I was, like, doing quantum mechanics and science stuff. I'm very stupid. I just want to clarify that. I do not do quantum mechanics because I think I'm smart. It's actually quite the contrary. I am a moron. And sometimes I'll, like, watch a video on quantum mechanics by ScienceFile AI, and then I'll be like, yo, I just came up with the theory of everything, and I look it up, and it turns out it's actually, like, the most common explanation of how the universe was created. Like, oh. Just, oh. I'm not special, I'm a moron. It just be like that sometimes. Funny thing is, like, I remember, like, when, what was it? What was it called? Google, when Google created, like, this AI, like a chatbot almost, and, like, this dude who worked there basically kept claiming it was, in fact, sentient or sapient or something like that. I had a what was it called? I had a moment like, or I had a conversation with a friend of mine a while back, and we were talking about whether or not the AI was actually sentient. And he brought up the point that our own brains actually remix data all the time to quote-unquote create original ideas and whatnot. Nothing is original, just how you do it and what you give credit. Dude, there is nothing original in this world. Have you seen the public gallery on pixelart.com? Bruh. But anyways, as I was saying, so like if our brains are just things that reinterpret data and then like remix it into memories and whatnot, what if algorithms are the same way? And like we actually just created a bunch of somewhat sapient entities in our computers that exist to only sort through data and remix it and nothing else. No need for homeostasis, no need for, like, thought. So there's no Darwinism in it. It's just like we're creating little entities that do our stuff. It's like enslaving little goblins in computers. It's like, oh, goblin, you gotta clean out my PC now. Bro, imagine just being like the YouTube algorithm and everybody hates you. Wouldn't be very effective. It's actually somewhat effective to use living entities as machines and computational things. For instance, people have actually already found out how to wire animal cell neurons onto, like, computer boards, so that way they can control electrical impulses and turn them into digital inputs. So for example, you could hook up a bunch of neurons to a video game controller, like the video game controller's motherboard, and teach the neurons how to play video games using it. It's crazy. People have already, like, taught, like, brain bots how to, what's the word, play Flight Simulator using rat brains. It's crazy, but also just existentially terrifying. Hold on, I'm gonna refresh my palette real quick. This will help me come up with some colors more efficiently. Yeah, it's really weird. I only found out about it like 2 years ago, and it's still one of my favorite concepts in all of science. The issue is, of course, it's very immoral to obtain, I don't know, disembodied rat neurons. It requires you to basically, like, lobotomize a still living rat. Although you can still technically, like, put it to sleep beforehand and then preserve it. it's still very, very scuffed no matter what. Sort of like stem cell research, because the most efficient way to get stem cells is through aborted fetuses and whatnot. Very unethical sometimes. Though sometimes it's just necessary, I feel. Or not necessary per se, it's like inevitable. Like, it's gonna happen no matter what. People want more science, people want more rat brains. It's always gonna happen. But yeah, imagine having like your own plate of just like neurons and neuron cells to just keep as a pet and teach how to play Super Smash Bros. That way I can finally find someone as brain dead as me online. Just raise a doubles partner from like a plate of rat brain. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like shunned by the majority of science as completely unethical. But it's still just so freaking cool to me. Transferring your brain to a machine would probably sacrifice the brain's personality. I mean, it somewhat depends. Like, I think there's actually some parts of the brain dictated by, like, certain... What was it? There's a part of your brain that contains not only, like, some memories, but also, like, your personality. Or at least that's what people believe. Because in the past, when people, I don't know, stuck fork in people's eye holes and just messed with the brain and whatnot because they were idiots, they found out that a certain part of the brain, when damaged, reduces their personality to nothing. Some of them even become, like, sociopaths after that, because it's just, like, they've cut out the part of the brain that contains empathy. Really nasty, really gross. But I do think there might be a way to convert that piece of the brain into, like, bits and bytes on a computer. It's possible. But I can imagine it would be the worst experience humanly imaginable. Like, the human brain is built to, like, interpret the world based off of senses. However, like, a brain in a computer would feel absolutely nothing except, like, maybe random jolts of just sensation from, like, brain computation. As well as, like, a... forgot the word again. Brain fog moment. What was it called? It'd be like you're blind, deaf, can't feel anything, and all you can do is think. Yeah, it's definitely possible, but, like, it's very, very, very hard with the technology we have. For instance, I feel like the only way to store as much storage that the brain has, which is roughly like 5 petabytes or something like that, I forgot. But, like, even our modern hard drives can't store that much information. The only way to do that is with either quantum bit storage or DNA, I think. Because DNA can technically be encoded in binary. So you could store vials of DNA as, like, straight up memory. You could probably do a million actions, though, but it would be so cool. The issue is you wouldn't be able to see, because your sense of sight wouldn't really exist. There might be some ways to, like, interpret, like, digital screen output to, like, directly wired into the brain. That way your brain can not only be, like, the PC itself, but it can also be the monitor in some sort of way. I'd imagine it's not the most comfortable thing. And if VR gets you motion sick, I can only imagine how awful being a computer machine would be. I've said this before on stream, but if anyone would sacrifice their life to become an AI, I would absolutely do it. I don't care if I'll have a I have no mouth and I must scream moment where I'm just stuck in eternal darkness for the rest of existence. I don't care. I want to do something productive with my brain. I'd be more than willing to sacrifice it to Lord Elon Musk so that way he can convert me into a crypto mining machine. Yes, Elon Musk, let me steal all the money from your fans. Off topic, but I really like what I'm doing with this skull here. These colors are pretty nice. Certainly got that vaporwavy look to it, which is kind of what I was going for, just a pinch. Ah, crap, did I scare away all my viewers with philosophical questions about rat brains? Dang it. It'd be really hard to adapt to such life, yeah. I can only imagine, because it's like you're taking a brain that's fundamentally built off of senses and comprehension, and then like stripping it of its senses and leaving it with just comprehension. And also the issue is, like, imagine a computer restart. Like, what happens? You don't fall asleep. There is no release of DMT, so you wouldn't dream. It'd be so weird. It'd just be like, you exist, and then you don't, and then you exist again. I've seen some other studies, or not studies, but like examples of stuff like that happening in like the real world without computers. Like someone will, for instance, be dead for an hour and then be revived an hour later, and then suddenly it's like all their, like, what was it? All their memories of the in-between time did not exist. So it's like, imagine this, you open your eyes, you close your eyes, and you open your eyes again, and it's like an hour later. I think that's how it would be. If a brain got shut down in an AI simulation sort of shenanigan place. Because, like, there would be no processing. You'd just be like, close your eyes, you open them, you're like days after, or something like that. Still pretty cool, though. It'd be just terrifying, because, like, the moment someone leaves you alone, you could just shut down. Power could go off. Anyways, after I'm done with these pink colors, I think I'm gonna go for some really trippy colors when it comes to the horn. I don't want it to look exactly like the bone, because horns, I think, are actually different structures from bones entirely, I believe. There might be like one or two exceptions to that, I'm not sure. Shutting down would be like sleeping forever, except you wouldn't be able to dream. It'd be like going to sleep but without dreams. Or at least that's what I think. Of course, I'm no AI. I'm not a plate of neurons learning how to stream. I wouldn't know. Dude, Trippy Dreams as like an AI. That'd be awesome. Dude, you'd be able to save your dreams as like memory files and then share them with other people. Bro, I'd be able to construct MP4 files in my brain hole. I'd just do that all the time and then send them to film directors and just make them make movies for me. I'll become the supreme robot overlord and force all the movie directors to make dope movies. Maybe you could put plugins to your brain to give you superpowers. Dude, that'd be sick. If you could process as fast as a human computer can, or not human, but just a computer can, you'd be able to play video games in frame-by-frame speed. So you'd have literally 1 frame reaction time in any video game. Once you get the hang of the inputs, you'd literally be the best video gamer ever. But funny thing when it comes to that, I've actually seen some people like create supposedly perfect video game playing AIs, and then like top players of the competitive games that they're built to play still beat them. It's crazy. Like even man versus machine, man still somehow overcomes machine somehow, some way. It's absurd. After I'm done with this sword, I'm probably gonna drop a couple spoilers for the path. Because I actually haven't shown anyone the path stuff. Which I find kind of funny, because I built a lot of hype for it, and I just completely forgot to show people what it even was. Imagine a CPU that's basically... a CPU that's basically human brain, but without semi-consciousness, but still operating. It's kind of what I was saying earlier with algorithms. That might be what it is. I've also seen some theories about like xenobiology and whatnot, and like entropy and or I shouldn't say entropy in high entropy areas, but just high entropy areas. Because like it's theorized that life is actually much more common than we think. It just dies out almost instantly. Because like just the sheer statistically insane amount of entropy in high entropy areas means that there's basically theoretically infinite possibilities of particles aligning. So there's a possibility that like somewhere in the universe there was a brain that basically randomly formed out of plasma and then dissipated instantly, just having consciousness for like a second. And that's kind of cool to think. Like, just by statistical inevitability, there's been at least one, like, quantum consciousness made of, like, pure atoms and quark plasma. Yeah, dude, xenobiology and entropy are crazy. Like, I'm not even smart when it comes to entropy and whatnot, and there's still, like, so much that makes my mind explode. Makes me feel like a super genius sometimes. Because it's just crazy cool. Like, it's the only place you'll find, like, theories about aliens and, like, the theory of how, like, subatomic particles spawn out of nothing and then instantly annihilate each other to reduce entropy. Or, never mind, it would be to increase entropy, my bad. It's still so dope. I have little to no comprehension of any of it, but it's just so cool. Science, man. It's dope. It's gnarly. That's why it kind of saddens me to think that a lot of people, especially in the American education system, are basically failed by the system itself and basically aren't allowed to feel those dope science experiences. Because a lot of them just have no comprehension of anything going on at all. Yeah, big science words make me feel big brain too. Bro, I'm like absolutely brain dead. 2.5 GPA in high school. But dude, nothing makes me feel smarter than like watching a science file AI video on quantum mechanics and being like, quantum gravity, yes. I am an intellectual like you. Man, I'd probably be so good at science if I wasn't brain dead when it came to algebra. Not gonna lie, I failed algebra too. I just don't get half of this stuff. I used to think I was like a smart kid because my parents always told me, oh, you're so smart, oh, you're this and that. Kind of came to the realization later on that I actually wasn't. It's more closely aligned with the special needs category than like straight up Einstein intelligence or something. And it's not inherently a bad thing either. Like being kind of dumb is incredibly common. And it's not something anyone should ever feel bad about because it's literally just like the human brain being the human brain. It's like making fun of yourself for existing. Dude, there's some people who always told me they were stupid, and then they were just like the smartest people I've ever known. So many smart people. Makes me jealous. I kind of like going with the greens, even though it's like, what's the word? It's like a color theory don't do this 101. But I love it. There's something so funny about using completely wrong color theory and it just works. It's like, what? Your rules about art don't work? Sorry, that's too bad. Dude, that reminds me of a Slinky. I haven't seen Slinky in ages. Not saying Slinky's color theory is bad, I'm just saying, like, I love their FU attitude to color theory. It's so dope. It's so freaking cool. I think a 2x1 cluster right there would work. We're probably gonna have to go. Sleep schedule and stuff. Alrighty. Have a good one, Muda. Or Muto. I keep thinking of Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers. Anyways, see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Oh, good grief. I felt my spine explode. Oh, that reminds me. Somewhat recently, like, I'm not extremely tall or anything, but I'm just, like, kind of tall and kind of lanky. And for whatever reason, I started experiencing growing pains, and my first thought was panic attack. Like, oh no, I can't grow anymore. No, please, no. I don't want to be tall. Take me back. Hold on, I don't like this banding on the blade here. It just doesn't look right. As much as I love to randomly band for literally no reason at all, this banding ain't right. This lighting ain't right. Hold on. But yeah, fun fact about any person who's tall. Being tall is actually not good at all. It is technically a negative genetic trait. It's apparently like a negative mutation because it messes with growth hormones as well. So taller people have to work like 10 times as hard to get buff. So if you're short, just thank the stars that you can be the buffest short dude anyone's ever seen. I've seen a lot of people like making fun of short dudes for like getting buff, cause like some random Twitter girl's like, haha, you're working out to compensate for your height. It's literally just science. Like, the torque required to get a better workout is much more efficient when you're shorter. So if you ever feel like, oh, I'm too small, I need to be taller for the girls to like me, just know that you're genetically superior to any tall person. I'm not saying do some like a what's the word? Eugenics type stuff. And not saying that there's a superior race of humans or anything like that. It's just like being short gets you buff easier. And that's a fact. Dude, that reminds me. There was this like really short kid, no offense to him at all. He was pretty small. Like, I think he had like some kind of minor growth hormone disorder. Because he looked like a 5th grader in the middle of like high school. And then like I talked to some of his friends later on, and it turns out he can bench max like almost twice as much as me. And he's like literally like what was it, like 4 foot, almost like 3 foot. He was really small. I can only imagine what it's like to be small. Like, that poor dude must have gone through so much bullying as a kid. Actual Giga Chad, though, could bench my entire weight if he felt like it. Even though he's, like, almost half my size. And it's been a minute since I've hit the bench. I need to get buff. I have this bad habit of, like, quitting getting buff as soon as I go to school, and then usually I get really buffed over the summer, and then, like, as soon as school starts, I, like, give up. But for whatever reason, like, after school ended, I just never got back to it. So I've been neglecting my body a fair bit in terms of, like, muscles and working out. I kind of like this bevel. Looks really neat. I'm going to try less banding right here and linear shading. Even though I do want to do some funny psychedelic stuff with the colors, I want to at least make the lighting look like it works. I know it's already banded right here. I'm gonna slowly iron it out with gradients, things like cross-hatching and whatnot. I haven't seen any movies lately. Oh, that reminds me, I just saw the Mario movie, like, poster on Twitter, and it actually looks good. Like, the CGI looks nice. I thought it was gonna look like, you know, your average Illumination Minions movie type stuff, but it was actually, like, good. Not saying that the movie itself is going to be a good, like a product of all of cinematography and whatnot, but it actually looks cool. The art style reminds me of Eastward, if anyone's ever played that game. The game's a freaking masterpiece. Oh, I forgot to play music! Oh, I forgot to play music. That's why it was so awkwardly quiet. Gonna play and blast some Blackout City. Dude, this song never gets old. It still rocks just as hard as it did like 15 years ago. Wait, no, it was 2006. That was 16 years ago, I think. I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm not too deep in the Anamanaguchi rabbit hole. I don't like me some orphan pixels. Hold on. Oop. There we go. One little change can go a long way, from making a sword look noisy as heck to looking slightly less noisy as heck. Still, in my opinion, one of the best songs ever on chiptune. Truly one of the GOATs. Greatest of all time. You know what, I'm gonna skip to Hopes and Dreams. I'm gonna make it a very climactic soundtrack for today. You know what, if I'm gonna quit streaming for a while, I might as well just play some Camellia. What are they gonna do, take me down from streaming for a week? Fools. In all seriousness, I just really like Camellia's work, and I would love to play it on stream. Every time I think of Undertale on stream, I get this crawling feeling in the back of my mind that it's gonna be cringe to even talk about it. Kinda sad too, because it's objectively a dope game. I remember I was talking about it with a friend because I really like the soundtrack. Or I guess I shouldn't say friend, we were never really friends per se. More acquaintances or comrades. But I was talking about the video game, he's like, bro, you like Undertale? The worst game ever? Man, Undertale is such a good game. I wish more people would give it a chance. There's a dark eye patch wolf, super eye patch wolf video on it that just explains why it's such a masterpiece. I wish more people had the patience to witness the masterpiece it becomes. Alright, I'm gonna try some Camellia now. Just a word of warning for all 0 of you watching. This might blow out your eardrums, so let me know if it's way too loud, because it's going to be way too loud. I don't think they own the copyright to the remixes of Undertale music, but I would love to play some of their original stuff here as well. Because it's some of the best, hardcore dubstep. It's kind of cheesy for hardcore dubstep though, because there's like, of course, wonky, like samples every couple seconds and stuff like that. So it might turn a lot of people off, but it's just freaking awesome to me. It's like it's just so climactic. Hold up, what if? Screw color theory, I'm just gonna reverse hue shift in a parabola. Never mind, it's not quite as loud as I thought it would be. Don't know if I'm gonna continue the shiny lock. Yeah, I'm gonna continue the shiny lock really soon. I've sort of been putting it off because I started streaming. That's why this is gonna be the final stream for a while, because I'm gonna work on that video as well as a couple other projects off stream. So yeah. It's not over yet, quite yet. The next episode is gonna be the final one though. That's why it's taking extra long to make, because I wanted to make sure like I got everything tied up before the end. Yeah, looking forward to having you watch it. Dope. Ah, crap. I forgot about the unsealed bottom here. I'm gonna erase some of the bevel lighting here, just so that way I can separate this part from this part, because they use the same colors. And I'll even do a bit of hipster cross-hatching, because why not? Why not? Dope. This green line here is kind of throwing me off. Actually, I'm gonna remove that middle one, put a new line here, then that straight line. There we go. I'm definitely gonna have to anti-alias the crap out of that with a mid-tone. Kind of like it just like that. Probably gonna turn off Camellia after a bit, because it's just not good streaming music, unfortunately. Like, too crazy, I guess. Doesn't fit the chill stream vibe, I guess. I do recommend listening to Camellia, though. Good stuff. Just, probably not with high volume and headphones. It might blow out your eardrums, no joke. You know what? This sword is missing some, like, cool particles and stuff. Well, that's why it's throwing me off. The perspective isn't consistent. Okay, there we go. Now that I've chopped off that whole bit, I should be able to smoothen out this gradient here. In fact, I might even try a completely different gradient style. Because I'm not a big fan of the straight line sort of stuff. Or at least in this particular case, it's pretty cool sometimes. Oh, I know what to do. Oh, I know what to do. Backlight time. I keep forgetting that backlighting is very good for this type of stuff, especially with hipster perspective like this. I should have been doing this from the start. I don't know why I didn't. Like, I even had the backlight set up right here. Why didn't I continue it? Yeah, that's just on me, to be honest. Just on me for not being smart. Screw it, I'm gonna try purple backlight, just because I can. Wait, no, I have an idea. Red backlight. Oh yes, red backlight. It's not gonna be a perfect red, it's definitely gonna fall more on the violet side. Might be a bit cooler than that, maybe even magenta. I think deep magenta would fit it pretty nicely. Because, basically the idea is to make it pop from the green a lot. So I'm just going to get a crap ton of red there, and then I'm going to slowly gradient it out, smooth it out with anti-aliasing and whatnot using this other color. Or I should say other colors. So I'm definitely going to be using multiple. I could even do this if I felt like it. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna try layering 50% opacity, the darker color on there. There we go. I feel like this fits a lot better. It just helps the gradient smooth out a bit better, I think. Of course, I can now hue shift a lot more dramatically here. Even brighten it if I so wished, which I do wish. Okay, grab this color. Actually, I think I can grab this color too. And now I can just put a cluster there, applying the... Wait, never mind, I can't. I can only, like, do this. I can only slightly imply that, like, this end of the eye bridge, or the eye ridge, I should say, of the bone area is, like, on this other side, and that's what's hitting this backlight here. And backlights are rough. Actually, I have an idea. 2 pixels there. Just allow a third dimension backlight over here. I kind of just want to remove that color entirely. I like that perspective on the nose. It makes it look much more like a skull nose. Because like usually animal skulls and human skulls even, without the fleshy part of like the nose, because the nose is mostly fleshy stuff with like cartilage and maybe like one bone. It's usually like the ridge right here. This is the ridge. The nostrils would be like these holes on the sides right here. And then there's this like down area where like the nasal cavity kind of connects to the oral cavity. So it's just cool. I like the perspective I did here. I did it decently well. I'm actually going to do a bit of light fixing here. Maybe a bit of anti-aliasing here and there. Don't want too much, because everybody knows that I'm known for too much anti-aliasing. Just want it to be enough to where it's like noticeable. Or not noticeable, I should say, but like helpful. Actually like reducing noise and contrast and whatnot in places where there shouldn't be so much contrast. Dude, the Aquatic Scourge song is like the conceit of Calamity Mod. Whenever I want someone to like listen to Calamity Mod music, I play that song. It's just so good at what it does. Okay, so now the final touch for like this bone color, I'm gonna make the brightest tone a really hot pink. And this is gonna be the ultimate backlight color, as well as highlight. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Anyways, got any tips for expert mode, Moonlord? So here's a couple things. One, this is going to be the most unrealistic but arguably the best tip. Rod of Discord. It's going to take an absurd amount of time to get it, but when you do get it, it's the easiest tool for dealing with the giant lasers. Another good thing to use is blocks. I believe that some blocks can completely block the laser. So if you create like a giant, like 1 block thick, like bridge in the sky, you can maneuver underneath it, so that way every single time he's about to charge up his super laser with his forehead eye, you can go straight up and like, if his head is above the bridge and you're below the bridge. Oh, that got patched in 1.4? Oh man, that's a shame. In that case, I recommend baiting out the laser to go in one direction and then flying over the eye, if you can. So for example, if you stay on the bottom left of it, the laser will start like bottom middle of him and slowly approach the top left. But if you start bottom left, you can just go up and over the eyeball and bam, you're now like free of the laser for ages. It will require some really good wings though, I think. For the final part, which is usually the part most people have a hard time with, I recommend like investing a bit more into defense if possible. So like if you're a melee, maybe like picking up Ankh Shield or something. Oh, you're at range, that's right. Yeah, Vortex Beater's very good. Vortex Beater is really good for the final phase too. I actually recommend using Phantasm for the final phase because it's really, really good single target DPS. So if like it's just the final phase and you want to rush it as fast as possible, I think like some what was it? It's like Cursed Flame arrows or something. There's some arrows that do absurd amount of like base damage, and they combo really well with Phantasm. Otherwise, I'm trying to think, there was some other really good options. I remember Chlorophyte Bullets and like getting a really fast pair of wings with that one expert mode accessory that Empress of Light drops. You can basically outmaneuver the Moonlord and their lasers by just getting super far. They can use like a fast ranged weapon with Chlorophyte Bullets and just rain help from afar. You're using Cute Fish Rod mount? Yeah, it's a pretty good mount. It actually gives you a slight damage boost if you touch water. So I recommend incorporating just like little bubbles with water in your arena. Because like if you go through those, it gives you a temporary like short couple seconds attack buff, which is really good. If you want to be a mega tryhard, Happy Gaming, or not Happy Gaming, what was it? Happy Days. Happy Days has a really good set of like tutorials on making optimal arenas, but those are like really old, so a lot of the techniques might be out of date. But I remember one good one being to set up like little, what were they called? Like little pits in a platform full of honey, because honey gives you temporary regen. And if you have fast enough movement speed, you can basically like dip in and out in less than a frame. Especially if you like hammer two blocks on either side of the honey block, so that way they're like facing inwards with like stair patterns. It lets you like dip in for like half a second and then immediately get out without getting stuck. That's pretty nice for getting just extra health regen when you're low. Trying to think, there was another really good strategy I had for a while. I can't remember what it was. Wait, never mind, that's melee. Yeah. You also started with Summoner and you're struggling with stuff. I recommend Cool Whip and as much armor piercing. Because basically, like the Cool Whip, whenever you hit an enemy with it, with like a fully charged strike, I think, it summons a little like a snowflake that pierces through enemies and does a lot of damage. It actually works on the Destroyer really well if you have armor piercing. So what is it called? Honeytooth Necklace, Sharktooth Necklace, and then as much summon damage as possible, and I think you're good to go. I also recommend doing Skeletron Prime first, because Skeletron Prime is actually the easiest, especially for Summoner. Because basically this strat is you get like, I don't know, what was it called? The bat summon? What was it? Sanguine Staff. Sanguine Bats or whatever. Use that staff, which you can get from the Blood Nautilus in hard mode. I've always had trouble from Blood Nautilus in a expert mode, hard mode. Especially early hard mode. And I found out that during its dash attack, where it like rotates in like a circle pattern, you can just stand still for part of it, and it won't hurt you. You just have to move a bit and then stand still, and it just like rotates in circles around you for a second. But Sanguine Staff, if you like right-click to make the summon target just the laser hand, you can shred it like instantly after that, because the laser hand is the one threat. It's the one threat that's like actually a threat. I kind of like not having eyes in these eye holes. I think I'm gonna keep it like that. Putting eyes in the skull just kind of makes it not look like a skull. Makes it look like a head. Actually, I'm not a big fan of that super highlight lighting. Oh, that reminds me. I know holy arrows were like nerfed to the ground, but holy arrows with Phantasm just does absurd DPS. Because like the arrows also summon Phantasmal, or the falling stars summon Phantasm bolts as well. Your first 40% of your first Terraria run is just Wall of Flesh and mech bosses in between. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of fun sequence breaking you can do. You used to be able to sequence break every pre-hard mode boss except for Wall of Flesh, back when Reaver Shark was a thing. Because like you could just pick up Water Bolt from the dungeon on the surface. Usually. I think it's rarer now, but it used to be very common. Same, brother, same. I forgot I had brown on my right click. This sword feels a little plain to me. I think I'm just gonna compile as many effects on it as humanly possible and just brute force it until it looks super dope. Also, hold on, I'm gonna close the door real quick. Make the eye sands? You know what, I might as well. It's a skull, it's basically a Gaster Blaster. Final sword, who cares? I'll go for it. SNES. No, it's gotta be white in the middle. Wait, hold on. I think Sans is actually black in the middle and then like blue around it. I could be wrong though. Yeah, it's black in the middle and then like blue fire around it. Oh well, I kind of like the white pixel anyway. I'll just keep it and then add blue. The issue is like keeping all the other lighting there while also adding Sans eyeball. Not gonna lie, it kinda looks like a wolf skull now that there's an eye in there. Yeah, I don't know if I can put like a flaming eye in there, because that's gonna mess with the lighting in this whole area, like right here, here, and here. So I might just do like a gem eye maybe, I feel like making the dragon head living is kind of weird, because it's a head on a stick. I don't know. I'll see what I can do. Wait, ooh, I have an idea. I changed the lighting around the eye. So instead of purple, we shift to blue. Uh-oh. That's a Camellia song playing. Oh well, I don't think this one's copyrighted. It's just gonna be a little loud. Should be able to combine flare with the phoenix. What? Just like stick a blue flare onto the zenith. Why not? I wish there were zeniths for the other weapons, because right now the best game for, or the best class for endgame is objectively melee. Like the endgame melee DPS is just absurd. It's like not even close. It's kind of sad too, because like ranged used to be on top, and then they just slapped zenith in the mix, and now it's just objectively melee. They added a cursed flame flare? Oh, I had no idea. That's pretty cool, actually. I've noticed cursed flames have been getting a lot of love recently, and I'm all for that. I remember when, like, for a while, corruption was basically dead. Like, everyone would pick Crimson because Crimson was just the most optimal one. Now it's kind of like, it's pretty close. Like, Icor is just insane, but Cursed Flames are also just bonkers. Alright, now I'm gonna add the little eyeball flame wispies going up. And some of the embers and whatnot. Nice opinion, but you are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I kinda miss getting cereal ads on TV. There's something so nostalgic about, like, watching Adventure Time or something, and then there's just a Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs ad. Now all I get are crypto ads on video games. It's kind of absurd how much reach crypto scams have gotten. Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark. Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark. I just want to find a girl who knows how to sing the hidden lyrics in Hopes and Dreams. And I kind of miss older meme formats too. Like the I just want to find a girl who insert joke here. That meme was like objectively garbage, but I loved it. It was like so cringe for the sake of being cringe that it just worked. It was the meme that killed the part of me that cringes. Sans dragon, sans dragon, sans dragon. Hold on, now the backlight's gotta change and everything. Yo, this song's a banger. Certified banger. Dude, I bet this song would be so nice to play on piano. I'm gonna have to show my sister this whenever she comes home. She loves playing video game soundtracks on the piano. Whenever she comes home, she just loves to like mash out Undertale songs and whatnot. I had a weird dream last night where like I was dead. Or I was not dead, I was going to die. And I was planning my own funeral. I just decided to go all in on memes and just like turn the funeral into a complete joke. Like, okay, after you lower my corpse into the body, I want you guys to put "It's the Best Day Ever" from SpongeBob on full blast. I don't even know why I was dying in the dream, I just knew I was just gonna die or something. And I was like, okay, guess I'm gonna go out as chaotic as humanly possible. With the dopest funeral the world has ever seen. Okay, so I'm gonna make the backlight also go for the back skull over here, as if the other eye is also glowing. So it's not only going to be a double backlight, it's a double backlight. Let's go. When in doubt, just stick backlights on top of the other backlights and make two backlights. This area right here, where blue backlight meets purple backlight, is backlight squared. You can't respect people who call themselves memers. To be fair, I am not I'm not like what people would call a memer. The joke was that I was just gonna make the stupidest funeral humanly possible. I do think the term memer is somewhat cringe, though. As much as I am against cringe culture, I think some people should probably just admit they're probably not the most in-touch person. For example, myself, I have no clue what modern memes are, so my dialect is restrained to entirely ancient memes, resulting in the cringiest meme references you'll ever hear. I acknowledge it is the cringiest, stupidest term you could coin for yourself. However, good old memes are pretty good though. I will admit that. Like Trollface meme is just making a resurgence for all the wrong reasons. You know, but it reminds you of that. Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, I think this top part of the backlight's maybe too much eye burn contrast. Purple's maybe a bit better. The back, so, hold on, let me plot the lighting out. So the purple hot pink backlight is supposed to be over here. There's a purple general light from up in this area. There's also the green light from directly to the left in front, so over here. Oh, wait, never mind, I forgot. This green is not from the sword itself. Or this green is from the sword itself. So there's actually just a generic light up here. The purple dragon bones are reflecting that light, and there's also a hot pink light over here giving the backlight here and here and there. And then there's also these glowing blue eyes on this side and this side, which give these backlights. Good grief, I am making this way more hard than it has to be. You want them to play Still Standing at your funeral? Fair enough, that's a good one. I want them to play Wonderwall at my funeral just on repeat. And the last one to leave gets my inheritance. Yes, I'm gonna die someday, but when I do, I'm gonna make my family members suffer as much as humanly possible for no reason. In all seriousness though, if I were to just unexpectedly die and plan my own funeral, I'd make it fun. I feel like the worst funerals are like the not fun funerals, where like it's just sad and everyone's crying. I'd rather people remember as I lived. A freaking moron. Alrighty, so I think that's gonna be it for the lighting effects. I think it's time for some backlight, or not backlight, like background effects. This is some anti-aliasing from the outside, maybe some cool outline shenanigans. Hold on, let me disable this layer below here. Oh, I just realized I can delete this sketch layer. I don't need it anymore. Your favorite funerals, the ones where you can feast on the body. Bro, those are good funerals. It's just a buffet. Like, why bury the body? It's like a perfectly good meat slab there. They're starving people who would love that body. They would love it. In all seriousness, though, I do not recommend eating corpses. It is not a good idea. Oh, I love that. I love that outline. Yo, that outline looks gnarly. That looks so good. Like, it just fits the style really well. Yo, I love this. I love this. Hold on. I'm actually gonna expand this outline to the right a bit using this color. Your favorite clipped? Oh no. Oh no. The FBI are on me. that reminds me. The reason why I made that joke is because I actually, like, learned recently that there's actual, like, a society of cannibals who believe that eating humans is, like, the right thing to do from a climate perspective. That's why it just came to me, because, like, there's people who genuinely believe the meme someone made on Reddit, like, ages ago, where it's like, eating humans solves world hunger and overpopulation. But, like, there's people who actually believe that. Every second I'm running, they're getting closer. One of these days, the FBI are gonna find out everything. They're gonna find the stash. They're gonna find the sheer quantity of... what was it? Dang it, I was gonna make a funny joke about arsenic and I forgot it. Brain fog, why? I was trying to be funny and edgy at the same time. And now I'm just an idiot, no. Speaking of edgy, I've like recently gone back and seen a bit of like old iDubbbz and Filthy Frank content, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't realize it was just kind of meh, even back then during its prime. Just kind of sad. This thing that used to be like the pinnacle of internet anti-culture is now just kind of cringe to watch back. I feel like it inspired an entire generation of those, you know, those annoying TikTokers who like to just go in public and make a fool of themselves. It feels like that kind of energy. I feel unfortunate too, because I used to like freaking love iDubbbz. I used to like worship him. I used to think he was like a really cool guy. I mean, he's kind of chilled out now, I should say. I mean, like old Filthy Frank and stuff. New Filthy Frank is kind of bonkers though. Joji making music, and it's like actually really good. I can respect that. Alrighty, now I'll bring back the older layer. The reason why I wanted to do that funny like outline thing, even though you're not going to see it, is that way I can go on an in-between layer like this and draw like this without it messing with like the sketch itself. It's not gonna add some cool background like effects and stuff. You like how the Goblin Summoner doesn't drop a summoning item? Dude, that'd be dope. Like it drops like an item that summons like those little goblin like purple flame skulls. That'd be sick. But yeah, like the only thing they drop is like the Hex Doll, Shadowflank Bow, Shadowflank Dagger. Would love to see some more summoner weapons. Because right now there's only like a couple weapons in every stage. And they're like the ones that everyone picks. Like, oh, I just beat Wall of Flesh, time to pick the Infernal Whip. Shadow Apparitions? That might be it, yeah. Yeah, that's it. I would love to see a Shadow Apparition summoning weapon, that'd be dope. Guess I'm gonna make some green lightning bolts here and there. Using these colors up here. There's a magic weapon in Calamity mod that actually does a very similar thing to what I was thinking. Except it just summons the projectiles that the Clothier shoots when he's like defending himself from enemies. Which already in of itself is a pretty cool concept for a weapon. Because like all the other NPCs usually have their own weapons. I would love to see like special Clothier weapon. Oh, I just remembered, I really gotta make a dope build for the new Aether biome. I would love to make some Aether biome builds, because like the Aetherium blocks are really cool. They might be some of my new favorites. The sprite pixel art looks so good. You know, I'm gonna restart on the lightning. This time I'm gonna start from like the base. This time it's just gonna be like little jolts, not like a whole structure. Just like this. Then maybe like a couple jolts or two. Yes. We can use some funny color shenanigans on here to reduce the amount of effects we need to make it work. This song will never not go hard. I need to find like more music I can use in my videos and whatnot that aren't just Undertale. Like I bought the Rogueland soundtrack for that purpose, but then I just never ended up using the music. Loop Hero OST is also really good. Maybe a bit of Hollow Knight. I just keep reusing Undertale music because I know it's not copyrighted. Right, at least I know that Toby Fox isn't gonna automatically content ID me. Shout out to all the game devs who don't copyright their music on like Content ID. So that way creators can actually like do stuff with it. Most other brands and stuff, they like to just take advantage of whatever copyright they have and just strike everyone who uses it. I can appreciate those who actually care. I would love to get to that point someday, where I'm just like, I'm making my own video games and making good soundtracks, and I'm just able to let people use it. I would love to. Of course, I'd have to have a product first. One doesn't become a Chad game developer without a game. Sorry if I've been a little off this past live stream. I've just come to the realization I forgot something. That's why my brain isn't working. Thanks, medicine. Medicine is great because it like helps you iron out some chronic issues, but it's also like really scuffed because the moment you forget to take them, you're just like a different person. Kind of reminds me, I think somewhat recently I fell on my head and had a brain injury, I think. Maybe like an undiagnosed concussion. I basically fainted in front of a bathroom door. Like while I was just getting up and walking. Just straight up lost consciousness like mid-step. Fell to the ground and hit my head. I don't know, it feels like something changed between now and then. Maybe I just have brain damage. Maybe I always had brain damage. I don't know. I don't care. Brain damage doesn't matter, because in 1,000 years, you're gonna turn into a rock, and then someone's gonna dig up that rock and be like, yo, that's a really cool rock. I'm having a hard time thinking of conversation starters. I can't really think of anything right now. I'm just focused all in on the Zen drawing habits. Actually, hold up, I have an idea. I've recently been playing a bit more of the challenge run that I meant to do on stream, but like it ended up not being that fun. I've gotten pretty far now. I recently beat... Wait, hold on. I should say I recently evolved the Eevee into an Umbreon. I got Scissor. And I ended up finding 3 shiny Pokemon on complete accident while just farming and leveling up. The first one was a shiny, a shiny Baneri. which I couldn't unfortunately use because it was my normal encounter, which I already had EV at the time, so I couldn't use it. So I just had the shiny Lopunny. Not Lopunny, Bunnery. I think a shiny Lopunny would be funny though. I ended up also getting, what was it? 2 shiny Azurals. It's like... dope. I'm not a big fan of this remix, hold on. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I'm gonna play some Hollow Knight. I feel like I'm playing too much high-octane music. This is a chill stream, we should just vibe. Dude, I recommend buying the Hollow Knight soundtrack whenever you can. It's so good. I believe I have the legal rights to play this music if I've already bought the soundtrack for myself. Or at least I'm able to use it transformatively, so as long as I'm talking over it, I should be good. So sorry if I talk too much, this is for copyright's sake. What do I care, I'm not gonna stream much anymore anyways. What are they gonna do, ban me from streaming? Oh, that reminds me. I remember I was in high school, we had this really cool theater teacher. She was pretty chill. I know, haha, laugh, theater kid, funny, haha, stupid, funny, theater kid, but like, she was a really chill teacher. She was very nice. She was very, what's the word? Like, good vibes. Chill person. And basically, she was gonna get fired because she wasn't being hard enough on her students, I believe. Or it might have been something not work-related, because I believe they did have some other issues outside of their job as well that were causing issues within their job. But basically, they ended up getting fired at some point, but because they couldn't, like, fire you in the middle of the school year because for, like, little to no reason, they basically had to let her stay until, like, the end, near the end of the school year, and then she was allowed to leave. So, like, the last day with her was super chill. We would just chill, didn't do any learning, and then, like, every single time anyone came in with complaints, she was just like, what are you gonna do, fire me? She was so chill. I was thinking of going to college sometime soon and just make friends with all the teachers there instead of actually doing anything important. I have a tendency to kind of give up during school years, where I just like stop studying, stop turning stuff in, and just kind of give up for a while. I feel like that kind of mindset, it just isn't gonna work for high school, so I gotta find some other way to be chill with my teachers without giving the crap up. It'd be cool to just be friends with the professors. Professors are chill, I've heard. Like, they don't care. They respect you as an adult and don't have to follow some stupid, like, BS attendance rules and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie, another big reason I've been, like, refraining from going to college as well is because I have, like, bad social anxiety. I could not imagine living with a roommate. I'm gonna do a bit of dithering, but not too much. It's just gonna be for the background alone. I swear I can quit when I want. Not gonna lie, my favorite song from Hollow Knight is Green Path. Is it Green Path? I think it's Green Path. Forgot, it's like the Garden Aries theme. It's very chill and nice, I like it. This isn't it, but yeah. Just saying. Dude, I really want to complete Hollow Knight so bad, but I'm just not skilled enough to do the God Home ending. I just can't do it. That final gauntlet is just the most difficult thing for me. Like, it's just like 40 minutes of just fighting enemies and bosses, and if you lose once, you gotta restart. I can't even imagine playing in, like, what was it called? Ironheart mode? I forgot. There's like some kind of difficulty setting you can do to make it basically permadeath. Iron Man, I think. Or at least Iron Man's the turn. I think it's called like Silver Heart or something in game. But it is so cool. I was thinking of getting into like the boss modding culture, because like in Hollow Knight there's this whole like super fun aspect of it where people just mod in harder and harder bosses, or buff harder and harder bosses, to the point where they're like borderline impossible, but they're technically possible. And like only recently people have been able to beat some of them, like the what was it called? The Radiance Moth Final Battle has like a super hard mode version. It's only like recently beaten. Dude, I'd love to do that. Instead of just like speedrunning, you're just practicing to see how far you can get with a boss fight. It sounds like so much fun for streaming. Of course, I'm no good at it, but it's one of those things that will definitely get better with time. I'm just gonna do some Dimitri dithering instead of actual dithering. I think it fits quite nicely, actually. Not Dimitri dithering per se, but just some ambient, like, gradient feathering. It also gives it a bit of three-dimensional depth. I recommend the shading style for anyone who's, like, feeling like the shading's a bit barren. Or samey, even. It's not even shading per se, it's just like a technique for gaseous material. I've even seen Flaya do it quite a bit. Although theirs is much more intricate and detailed than this. Yeah, this reads very Flaya-like to me. Just this specific style in particular. Not the entire sword, of course. Sometimes I see some people like talk about me on the Pixel Art official Discord server, and it's kind of just weird. Like some people just talk like, "Where'd Tenji go?" or "Are you Tenji?" talking to random people because they think I disappeared. Nah, I'm just too depressed to draw anything. I share it on occasion. Oh, I just realized this song reminds me of Wind Waker. Wind Waker is such a good soundtrack as well. You know what, I might just play Wind Waker music. Like, Nintendo's pretty chill about, like, game OSTs, as far as I'm aware. They only attack people who, like, re-upload the music for the sake of other people listening to it. And that's only rarely. I should just clarify, whenever I make a weird noise, it's probably me yawning and not me moaning for no apparent reason. I think I'm just about done. I think I'm gonna make a couple funny little particles over here. Yeah, the finale. This is where it ends. Skull sword. I'm just about done with it, actually. I'm just gonna work on the handle down here a bit more, add some gleams, and I think I'll be ready to call it a quits here. I'll definitely like edit all the other swords together into one big piece. I'm still deciding what I'm gonna do for like the background of that big piece. Like, I'm thinking what color to use. Do I use pure white and then like have every sword outlined? I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna have a black background, and then I'm gonna like outline each sword like there's a couple that need to be outlined with white. This one right here definitely needs to be outlined with white first, and then I'll be able to put it on a black background. I just realized, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. Yeah, I like this design better than that one. Actually, hold on, I have an idea. Doop. New layer, move this one below. Use this blue brush, make it thick. I make it peter out with a small particle, ombre, gradient. I'm still used to the ombre terminology, even though it's like Spanish for brother or something. Then I grab this dark purple right here, and I have a bit of fun with some of these particles. And I think that's going to be it for that effect. I might actually undo that purple part. I kind of like it like this. I think adding some purple, like right... never mind. I like it just like that. In fact, I might even remove these 2x2 clusters. Merge down. Kind of like these circular clusters, or not clusters, particles. Pretty cool. I think hombre is Spanish for man. I thought it was brother or friend. I forgot. No, amigo is friend. Hombre, I believe, means brother, but it's also like almost like terminology for like fellow man or friendly man. I could be wrong though. I mean, I'm not a Spanish speaker. I just took 3 classes of it, and I pretty much forgot all of it. Oh, never mind. It's man. You're right. You're right. Yeah, just man. Maybe amigo is brother. I forgot. Alrighty, now for the handle, I think I'm gonna make it... I want to do more psychedelic colors, but I'm not sure what to do for the handle in particular. I think I'm gonna change this bone part because I think it just looks weird. It looks like a ball sack on the end of a stick, which frankly is not nice imagery. So this handle right here, I'm gonna try rebuilding the handle from the top. So I'm gonna replace all these colors with something else. Ooh, I know, red. Reds. I think red dragon scales would be a nice texture for it. Of course, I'd need to make it fit in with the rest of the colors so that way it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb in my eye. Tone. Deep magenta violet, I think. How much does Aesoprite cost? I got it on sale for like $5. It might be like $11, I think. Hold on, I can check on Steam real quick. Oh, come on. $20. Okay, that's more expensive than I thought it was. Definitely worth it though, especially in comparison to something like Photoshop. I recommend getting it for like cheaper whenever it's on sale. If not that, there's actually free source code of it online since it's open source. And if you know how to decompile it, it's basically free. That's how my dad got it. Still kind of funny for me to say that my dad actually likes pixel art. You have no idea how to do that? That's fine. I recommend picking it up on like sale, or if it's on like Humble Bundle or something else like that. Because like it goes very cheap often, I think. I remember getting it for like $10 to $5 when it was on sale one day. I remember I was actually genuinely considering getting pixel art, or not pixel art, Photoshop just for pixel art at some point. Dude, I'm so glad I bought Aesoprite instead. Dude, Photoshop is such a waste of money. There's like Krita, which is basically Photoshop for digital art. And there's Aesoprite, which is Photoshop for pixel art. Krita is free, Aesoprite technically isn't, but altogether it will definitely be less than the $600 for like 1 month of Photoshop. Screw Adobe. They can suck it. I'm glad they're going under. Alrighty, I like this dragon scale handle here. You got access to all the Adobe stuff from school? Good. Abuse the heck out of that license. Make as much stuff as you humanly can or want to with Photoshop before you lose it. Because, like, even with, like, a school discount, it's, like, 20 bucks a month. Which adds up to, like, well over 20 times 12. $240. $240 a year for Photoshop with optimal discounts. Insane. You don't know how to use Photoshop? Fair enough. Yeah, Photoshop is especially a waste if you don't know how to use it. I only know how to use it because I got the license during a multimedia class and now I'm technically Adobe certified. It's okay. It's like very customizable. So like if there's a tool you want for some specific purpose, there's definitely one out there for it. If it isn't like what's it called? If it isn't like a built-in tool, there's definitely a script someone made at some point. I think there's also a lot of free courses. You just like need a URL from someone who's Adobe certified, or not Adobe certified, but like certified to instruct with Adobe. So like it's basically free information out there. It's just that like Adobe likes to pretend it's behind a paywall. When in doubt, trust the random Indian man on Google who knows how to use it perfectly and teaches you everything, because boy do those people keep society afloat. I'm trying to make a really cool handle that isn't like too, I don't know, plain or obtuse. I don't want it to be like a giant gem, because that feels almost like, that feels almost cliche. And I don't want it to be like too small either, because I feel like this is slightly too small, but almost just right. Actually, I just realized I can actually put the backlight purple highlight up here. So it technically would reflect some of the light. Actually, it would only reflect like right there. Which I feel like is kind of a waste. Maybe just a blue pixel so it's not an orphan pixel. I really like the form of that handle, or not handle, the pommel. It looks very slick. I think it just needs to be a bit less plain. Ooh, I know. Maybe it has like a jutted handle from the bottom like this to protect the fingers. You gonna head out? No problem. Have a good one. See ya. Have a good night as well. think the dragon maw itself is kind of a hand protector. Hold on, I have an idea. Little falling embers. From like the eyes. Actually, I think I'm going to make the sparks much more subtle than that. Maybe like a couple clusters like this. Z clusters, I believe they're called. Apply just a little bit of light to them. This song kind of, or this track kind of reminds me of Bastion. Bastion is such an underrated soundtrack. It's so good. Oh, I know. The spine. Like a lot of reptiles have like spines on their back to deter predators. I could maybe apply that property to a dragon. Give it like a little dragon spine or claw or something on the bottom of it, of the pommel. Not too big so that way it doesn't hurt the wielder. But, you know, it's still a spike. Perspective's a bit off. Maybe a down by 3 over 1. Closer. think I'm just gonna make it a pretty normal pommel instead. I'm not gonna make it too fancy or anything. I think that a claw just isn't gonna work. Might as well try just a rounded bottom. Sort of like, you know, those concave tops on top of buildings, like the Capitol of Washington and whatnot. Sort of like that. Or even like the roofs of the Taj Mahal. Just that kind of dome shape. At least I'm gonna try to convey that. It's a pretty difficult shape to convey with pixels. Actually, at this point, I kind of like just the square slabs. Like, that just looks pretty nice. Might be a bit anticlimactic, but I think this might be it. Like, this is... I feel like it's just as good as it can be with this design. The lighting is nice, Oh, I just remembered the handle needs to have, like, binding. Let me grab these palette here so that way I can actually draw something with it. I just need to make like a binding pattern. Ooh, I like that, kind of. Still seems just a bit off, but that does look like a pretty nice, like, ridge pattern. I think it needs to be more like a binding than it needs to be like a ridged texture thing. And at this point, I think kind of matte just kind of does it better. I'm gonna try again with like scaled texture. So like patterns and clusters. Nah, I think just a couple clusters at the top and then that's it. Alrighty, I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna finally compile all the swords I have into one giant piece, featuring every single sword thus far. One, two, three, four. Did I delete the edible one? What the heck? I guess I deleted it. The heck? That's weird. That's my comms sheet. Where is it? What the heck? I guess I deleted it? That's kind of anticlimactic. Hold on, I might have posted it on pixel art. If not, I probably just skipped them and just deleted them because I didn't like the small sprites. Yeah, that's what I did. Hold on, maybe I have them on Discord lying around somewhere. The heck? Come on. Sorry, I'm just trying to find out where I put my old drawings that I need for the compiled finished piece. Where did I put them? I think I might have actually deleted some of them because I didn't like them. Why is Discord like this? Come on. It won't let me search for my own name? I guess it just doesn't work in stream or in streamer mode. In that case, I'm probably gonna have to just redraw the edible one. I could have sworn I posted it somewhere. I might have posted it as a photo on Twitter. I think that's where it is. I don't think I posted it on the Discord. These two are probably the least impressive, so I wouldn't be surprised if I just deleted them. There it is. Yeah, it doesn't look good. That's okay though. I needed a break that day. And I don't feel like creating a completely new one. I believe this is 32 by 32. Yeah. So it's that one. And this one is 16 by 16. Once again, I think it's upscaled 32 by 32 maybe? Yeah, that's it. Delete this background, delete this background. New empty frame is Alt B. Okay, so yeah, no, frame number 7 is mirror. I got the count just right. So this one I copy and paste in Mossy Quartz for the crystal sword. Next one was candle, so I copy and paste candle sword. Candle sword still might be one of my favorites. I don't know, this most recent one is really good, not gonna lie. Number 3 was gear sword. Number 4 was elemental, which looks like a Terraria weapon. I think I'm just gonna export them all as a PNG file that's like formatted as a sprite sheet. Liquid. Wait, no, never mind. Edible was first, so it's this one. Wait, hold on. I might actually upscale this one 4 times just so it fits. Never mind, 3 times. Snag this color. And copy the color code so I remember it. And of course, the crashing wave cutlass. I kind of like how comedically small these are. There we go. Alrighty. I think that's gonna be it for streaming for the next month or so. I'm gonna be taking this extra time off from streaming and putting it forward to making more like edited video content, as well as working on my secret project, The Path, which, you know what, I might as well just spoil a little bit of it here. Hold on, I'm gonna go onto my own gallery and show you some things that I've got. So basically, I found out that you can use links and just links and comments on pixel art to essentially make a choose-your-own-adventure style game. I've then extended the system to work with things like equipping items, detecting how many times you've gone back and forth from one area to another. And eventually, there's gonna be, I believe I wrote down over 40 endings, though I may reduce it a fair amount because that's a lot of work. And so far I've only gotten 1 or 2 endings complete, where it's actually playable. I might as well just show you some little teasers. Hold on, just gotta get OBS to record the right window now. Alrighty, so here is the path. Just a quick reminder, everything is subject to change. There are certain areas that require items, so you can actually pick up items, as you can see in the bottom left, and use them in little comments under here. So basically, I'll have comments set up with links that link you to every other step from where you are. And whenever you hit a dead end, it will automatically send you to this one specific page that will tell you to use the backspace, not backspace, the back button on your browser. It's going to be like a full system that actually somewhat works. And the only way to discover some of these endings is to either have someone link it directly to you, which is the lamest way to play it, if I'm being honest. But there are ways to find secrets just from clicking around links in different orders. For example, this is from the Broken Game ending, where you basically have to go back and forth from the start of the area to one spot directly next to it over and over and over again, causing the game to gradually bug out like this. And then eventually it will crash the computer. Or at least it crashes the computer if you go for that route. But there's actually a way you could crash the computer that allows you to play something else on it. Like, for instance, a pixel art dating sim. Because of course that's a thing now. I don't know, I realized no one else has made one, so I figured I might as well just make it for the funnies. So yeah, it's basically going to be a whole thing. I'm still working on it though. It's going to be a really long time until it's finished, like easily 2 to 3 months. Likely even more because I have a tendency to overestimate my own abilities. So yeah, I guess I'll leave you with that. Look forward to seeing the path. I hope you have some fun with it as well whenever I finally finish it. And also, I should mention the shiny lock. So for the shiny lock, it's going to be like the big finale of the series. I'm going to go through everything from then on. And I believe after the last one, I like just beat... What was it? It was like the dudes at Mount Pyre. So that's like 2 more gyms. And then... Yeah, 2 more gyms, and then the Elite Four, and then some secret encounters in between. So yeah, it's going to be quite the video. It's going to take a while to edit, of course, because I'm very meticulous with how I edit the Pokemon videos in particular. So, but when it does release, it's probably going to be like an hour long. So that way anyone can enjoy it for like a solid hour. I'm going to cut down on some of the less necessary stuff, like repeating myself as far as Pokemon stuff and like information goes. But basically, I'm going to be able to complete the story, and then I'll be able to work on something else after that. Most likely, that will be the path. So, until then, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching all my streams. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.